over my dead body. Is that so, Mikel? Is that so? Let me tell you something. Before we get into this preview for Nottingham Forest versus Arsenal, I'm going to break down this press conference and what he said in this press conference earlier today and why some things have just irked my soul. There's a couple of things here that I'm going to read out for you. So stay locked in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video, like the page, and let's get into it because I'm going to tell you why this has irked my soul. First quote I'm going to break down for you is this. The difficulty is higher than 3 days ago, but if you're going to win the Premier League, you have to do something special. I'm going to stop you right there, Mikel, because I'm going to break down as to why you don't have to do something special all the time. You should just do the basics. Kai Havertz, Calafiori, Mikel Merino. Question. Was this right to spend 139 million on these three players and not maybe spend, I don't know, a solid 70 million to get a solid striker and maybe another 70 million to get a one solid midfielder? Because I'm not saying Calafiori hasn't done some good things this season, but he hasn't played that much. Yes, he has been injured, but Lewis Skelly has kept him on the bench. Mikel Merino has also been injured, but he's been kept on the bench by Declan Rice and Thomas Partey. That was Arteta's #1 signing this season or last summer. And then Kai Havertz, who was Arteta's #1 transfer target the summer before, like my brother. 139 million spent. You couldn't sign one striker. Forget always trying to do something special. Try to do the basics once in a while and secure yourself a target man. And I'm going to explain why that's key to another point in this video in a couple of seconds. If you're going to win the Premier League with the circumstances we have, you will probably have to do something that nobody else has done in the history of the Premier League. And I'm going to tell you why having a gunman is key for that, Mikel. There are only 3 teams in Premier League history to overcome the bigger points deficit that we currently have right now, 11 points behind Liverpool. And that first one was Manchester United's team in the 92-93 season, class of 92. You see the picture pop up somewhere, this, that, and the other of the boys and this, that, and the other. The class was crazy. Now let me move up and read this here very quickly. Eric Cantona's arrival from Leeds the month before played a pivotal role in Man United's resurgence, and despite going into December well adrift, they were top by mid-January after Norwich failed to win any of their 6 games from losing at United on December and drawing 2 at home with Coventry from 16th of January. The reason why I mention Eric Cantona is because of this. As I said, if you know football, you know this man. And you know what he did for Manchester United. But even when he came in early, he set the standard and he made sure he pushed that team to the title in the 92-93 season with goals in matches all the way up until the end of the season. And again, the next team to do that in the 95-96 season was Manchester United again, and I believe they overcame a 12-point gap again this season again. But this time, can you see? Look at the players they have in there: Scholes, Keane, Phil Neville. I think Nicky Butt's in there. Somewhere. Cantona's there. Beckham's there. That team, serious piece of team. And Wenger comes in either that same season or the season after. I think it's that same season Wenger comes in. But you get what I'm saying. And again, these men had players in their team. They had gunmen in their team. But the third and final team, do you know the third and final team? The third and final team that made the biggest points overhaul in Premier League history and actually clawed it back and won the league. Do you know what that team was? Only Arsenal have only overcome a bigger points gap than themselves and Manchester United. The biggest overhaul in Premier League history of a 13-point deficit. And let me say something else as well. We still trailed United by 12 points into as late as February into the season. We still trailed them by 12 points. We trailed Liverpool currently by 11 points. Now, but in this team, we had gunmen. And not only did we have absolute bad man, we had leaders too. Lee Dixon, we had Adam Winterburn, Vieira, Petit, the Romford Pele, Ray Parler. We had Overmars, Bergkamp, Wrighty. Wrighty even broke the record, the old time at the time, goal scoring record that same season. This gunman broke his goal scoring record that season. This is what you need to win a title. And the legend himself, the Iceman, they call him, Dennis Bergkamp, and I believe if he wasn't signed that season, he was definitely named PFA Player of the Year. He was named Arsenal's Player of the Year, the Football Writers Awards. He swept it up. He was in the Team of the Year. He was brilliant. He scored about 8 goals towards the end of the season. Assisted Overmars. Him and Overmars, the link up was crazy. It was crazy. This is what you need. You need a Dennis Bergkamp. You need an Eric Cantona. You need an Overmars. You need a Wright. Who do we have up front to be that gunman? So yes, he's absolutely right. You have to do something that we or anyone hasn't done before. Because whether you're 12 points behind, 13 points behind, 11 points behind, even 10 points behind, like City, I think in the 2010 season, or this, that, and the other, whatever season it was, they had gunmen in their team. We don't have a striker. All our forwards are out, and you didn't sign no one in January. The board didn't either. And you didn't sign anyone with the money that you were given. But guess who does have a striker that is doing very well in the top scoring charts this season? Well, as you know, we're taking on Nottingham Forest at the City Ground tomorrow, away from home. And their top scorer, Chris Wood, has just been in brilliant form this season. I think he's 4th in the top scorers table currently in the Premier League, scoring 18 goals, which is actually currently double than what our current top goal scorer has, which is Kai Havertz. And now he has been injured for about a few weeks now. But even then, with the amount of chances that he was missing and this, that, and the other, is criminal. Then the next person close to that is Martinelli. Then it's Saka. But Saka's got goals and assists, to be fair. He's got goals and assists. But other than that, it's just been lacking. We're going to Forest, who have a decent defence and a gunman up front. You understand it? And look at the energy from Callum Hudson-Odoi reflect and rectify against Arsenal. We have to learn from the first half. We can't have something like that again. We're going to make sure we rectify that in the coming days up to the next game on Wednesday, which is us. They are confident. They don't care about us. They're not saying, oh, it's the best team in the league coming this, that, and the other. They know who we are, because Newcastle have had our number. West Ham have our number at home, at least, which is sad. I mean, the head-to-head would state that things are pretty decent. We beaten them in our last 3 games. Beaten 3-0 last year, beaten 2-1 last year, and 2-1 the year before that. But Nottingham Forest have lost 7 of their last 8 games against Arsenal, with an exception being a 1-0 home win in May 2023. And if you remember that game, that was the game that sealed the title for City when we lost. So even though they've lost like 7 of the last 8, that one killed us. And they might kill us tomorrow. And this man's resurgence and what he's doing at Nottingham Forest right now, Nuno Espirito Santo, he can be very, very proud of himself. And he's going to want the W. He's going to want the W. We battered them 3-0 at the Emirates. He's going to want to batter us and strike another nail in the coffin of this Premier League title if it's not already done and dusted already. This is the team that Nottingham Forest put out against Newcastle, and they'll probably do the same thing again tomorrow against us. And even the fact that Callum Hudson-Odoi came back, scored against Newcastle on his first return back, gives White, Chris Wood, Elanga, it could be very, very long. I think it's just prayer at this point, but the team I'd go with is Raya, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, with Timber, Tierney, Partey, Marino, Odegaard, Trossard, Nwaneri. I know it's crazy. It's different. Do something different, because I am so tired. But we won't get that. I hope we do, but we won't. I pray for a 1-0 win. We'll see what we get. That's it for the preview. Love and guidance, people.